I wasn't really having a real impact on society. So I really wanted to join a profession wherein I can have a positive impact in society. And for me, nursing was the clear answer. We're going to have a 120,000 shortfall of physicians by 2030. And according to the Future of Nursing Workforce report, the key to solving that is optimizing the NP pipeline. We are not going to succeed because we believe in ourselves. We will succeed because we believe in each other. A strategy without data is just poetry. And by knowing your numbers, you will be able to leverage your team to become successful. We can do a better job as nurses to advance the brand equity of nursing. I think there's still a lot of misinformation with nurses that I think we really need to ensure that we're able to communicate the value proposition of nursing. A lot of mentors have helped me throughout my journey, and I want to pay it forward.
Welcome to the Nurse on Purpose podcast, where we challenge media stereotypes about nursing and spotlight the incredible and diverse roles nurses play in healthcare. I'm your host, Nello. Every week, I'll be joined by a nurse who is reshaping the narrative. From frontline care to leadership, education, innovation, and beyond. Our aim is to show the world that nursing is so much more than what we see on TV. Together, we'll explore how we can collaborate with media and other stakeholders to create authentic and inspiring portrayals of nurses. Let's begin the conversation and ignite change, one episode at a time. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nurse on Purpose podcast. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Dr. Joseph De Veyra to the podcast. Dr. De Veyra is a first-generation immigrant from the Philippines. He's a seasoned, doctorally prepared nurse executive with an impressive background in leadership, healthcare innovation, and clinical excellence. As the former Associate Chief Nursing Officer at Harborview Medical Center, he navigated the hospital through the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, optimizing quality metrics and leading a successful transition to Epic. Now, as a Chief Nursing Officer of NP Hub, he's transforming NP clinical placements and spearheading initiatives like the first NP-specific job board, connecting students and professionals with top institutions. With an MBA from MIT, an MPH from Harvard, and a DNP from California State University, Fullerton, Dr. De Veyra blends clinical expertise with business acumen to drive meaningful change in nursing. Dr. De Veyra, you're welcome to the podcast.
It's an honor to be here, Nello. Thank you so much for having me.
Grateful to have you here. I can't wait to really just dive into your journey and the impact that you're making in nursing and healthcare as a whole. So let's get started from the top, which is where I always like to get started. Take us through the moment when you first decided to pursue nursing. What was the motivation?
Yes, I pursued nursing because as a first generation immigrant, as you know, nursing is a very daunting profession, and nursing is actually my second career. In my first job in the United States, I was actually a journalist, and
Wow.
unfortunately,
How did I not know
yeah,
that?
I know. Unfortunately, it wasn't hard-hitting journalism. I was covering the Transformers movie premiere or the Manny Pacquiao fights in Vegas. So I wasn't really having a real impact on society. So I really wanted to join a profession wherein I can have a positive impact in society. And for me, nursing was the clear answer. And of course, I had a community behind me. I had a lot of relatives in the profession as well. And I wanted to partake in that mission.
Wow, I can't believe that you were a journalist.
Yes.
Before, I didn't know that about
Yes.
you. Oh, you hid that for this moment, didn't you?
Yes. It's top secret.
Yeah. Well, did you have a lot of support when you moved to the United States?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
Um, First of all, I don't condone ageism, so I'm not going to share. No, just joking. No, but it was, I think, 13 to 15 years ago. And as you know, as a first generation immigrant, there's not a lot of support. And I was also constricted by the financial limitations. So I really needed to have a healthcare gateway. And I think the turning point in my journey was when I got a scholarship under LA Unified School District in East Los Angeles Occupational Center for an LVN program. So
Mm,
that program was the catalyst for my success because I was able to get into nursing 1 year wherein the financial cost is minimal, and I
yeah,
was able to hone my skills. And we already took fundamentals of nursing
yeah,
and a lot of the pathophysiology courses as well. So
yeah.
as a result, upon graduation from that program, I was able to work as an LVN program in multiple settings such as skilled nursing facilities, home health, and hospice. And I was able to take my prerequisites as I was working. So for me, the LVN program was of utmost importance.
That's wonderful. So now you're in leadership as the CNO. You've come a long way, right? You are the
Yes.
chief nursing officer at NP Hub. Can you share with us what NP Hub is and how they're supporting NPs navigate from academia to clinical practice?
Yes. And just a little bit about me. In my prior role, I was ACNO for Harborview Medical Center. Not sure. Do you know the show Grey's Anatomy by any chance?
Oh, who doesn't?
Yes, yes. So the inspiration behind that show was actually the hospital that I led during the pandemic, Harborview
Mm.
Medical Center, because
Oh,
we're the only level one trauma center in 4 states. Hopefully, the inspiration behind the trauma cases and not the drama. But as you
yeah.
can tell, Seattle was ground zero for the pandemic, so it was very difficult. With my team, led them to their first magnet designation. But it was
Wow.
actually during this time that I found my why, because I was getting a lot of random calls from NP students from North Dakota, New Mexico, and Boston asking for clinical placements. And for me, this is crazy because I'm all the way to Seattle, and for me, the best way to learn about something is to write about it. So
Mm,
serendipitously, I was in my MPH program in Harvard University during that time. I
mm,
wrote this research paper, discovered that we're going to have 120,000 shortfall of physicians by 2030, and
mm,
the national primary care shortage is an emergency. And
mm,
according to the Future of Nursing Workforce report, the key to solving that is optimizing the NP pipeline. So from there, I was able to network with this organization called NP Hub, doing things the right way. And and what NP Hub does is we actually help students with their clinical placements, because a lot of the universities, due to short staffing, are having such a difficult time optimizing their clinical placement process. So we're like a force multiplier for universities. We also built key partnerships with our partners such as USC, Yale, and Claflin University, working directly with their academic leadership to ensure each student has the best clinical experience in
mm.
preparation of their practice.
So, at NP Hub, when a student, like an NP student, comes to your company, for instance,
Yes.
what is the process that they have to go through in order to get placed? And are these students from all over the United States? Are they placed within their state? How do you do the actual pairing up?
We have an online marketplace. It's like a matching. Have you used Airbnb before?
Oh, yeah, I used it
Yes,
like
yeah.
yesterday.
So we're like a two-sided platform wherein students can get into our website, leveraging AI. They document or input the clinical parameters, whether if it's FNP,
Mm, mm,
PMHNP, the
brilliant,
demographic profile of the population, and from there
brilliant.
they are matched with a preceptor that
Mm,
fits not only from a clinical standpoint but from a geographical standpoint as well.
absolutely.
So we try to ensure that our clinical placements are within at the maximum a 90-minute drive. But the beauty of this is it also empowers the student to choose preceptors because they will have multiple choices
Mm,
as they're choosing their clinical placement. We
yeah.
also want to assist in inclusion, in decreasing the level of effort and impact to finances. So we actually built a payment plan for our students as well as
Mm,
they used our clinical placement
mm,
service.
mm.
because we've all been there, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I think both of us have been working students
yeah,
as we progress in our nursing. So we really want to make sure to decrease the level of impact from a life standpoint of
mm,
NPs, because based on a financial analysis that we've conducted, the risk of a student delaying one semester of graduation is around at least $16,000, aside
mm,
from the emotional impact of
yeah,
having being delayed in your program. So that is our key mission, which is to
yeah.
serve NP students in the healthcare ecosystem.
This must be such a fulfilling role for you, right?
Yes, yes.
That you
I
truly
think
get to meet the needs of this population that desperately needs the placement. Because as an NP student myself, when I was going through the process, my school was pretty good at doing the matching and the placements for us. Like we didn't
mm,
have to look for our own placements. And I thought it was strange that people would say, "Oh, I have to find a placement." And I'm thinking, why? Why do you have to find your own placement, right? Is there just like a lack of hospitals or facilities that are willing to take on NP students? Why is there such a, because I personally feel like the responsibility for placement should be on the school, not on the student, right?
yes, I do think that universities are doing their best to serve their students. That
Yeah,
being said, similar to the healthcare industry, there is short staffing
yeah,
all
absolutely.
around. I've met programs wherein their clinical coordinator is suddenly quit. So now that responsibility
On the
falls
student.
on the dean, and
Yeah,
knowing the dean is responsible for budget, for staffing, for
yeah,
strategy, for accreditation. So I think universities are doing their best. That being said, there are marketplace realities that are happening right now, not just in universities and healthcare, but in the workforce as a whole. So
yeah,
that is what we're trying to accomplish and help,
yeah.
and that is why our mission is so important.
Now, this brings me to my next question because the placements that we get during the 2 or 4 years that we're spending in school will really make an impact into the way we practice our skill, our knowledge base, and all of
Hmm.
those things. There are people who are arguing that we vary a lot when it comes to, and I'm talking about the NP role now. There's
Mhm.
variability in when you consider somebody who went to this school versus that school, and it may have something to do with their clinical placements.
Hmm.
When we are finding our own clinical placement and there's such a shortage, and because out of desperation, do you feel like these placements are vetted well enough to make sure that they are actually credible and providing the standard of education and teaching that students need? Or is it just a pass through? Like, as long as you have a placement, that's good enough. Like, what is the vetting process to ensure that clinical education is standardized throughout NP practices?
I can only speak for NP Hub and our university partners. We've gotten the feedback that we have the most rigorous precepting onboarding process in the nation.
That's
We
awesome.
each preceptor is actually interviewed beforehand, and all of their certificates and licenses are reviewed to ensure that everything is up to date. In fact,
Hmm.
our process is so rigorous that Emory University has adopted it.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it as well is that aside from the evaluation of the school, similar to Airbnb, students are also able to review their
Mm,
preceptors on
good.
a five star rating. So
Mm,
whenever we get a rating of 3 and below, we immediately investigate, and
mm,
in most cases, we actually remove that preceptor from the platform. So
mm.
we leave no stone unturned to ensure that we have the best preceptors
Yeah.
that our students can have.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I've looked through your website and I'm just glad that you're able to share that so that people truly can build and gain that confidence in using NP Hub
Mhm.
as their placement source. So thank you for sharing. Okay, so how do you balance, I know you're a busy guy. You are. I mean, I'm trying to catch you. I can't I can't keep up. So how do you balance like the demands of leadership with staying connected to the heartbeat of clinicians in practice and staying connected to the students? Like how do you balance all of that from the top?
Yes. First of all, I don't have a social life. No, just joking. No,
This this
but
right here is your entire social life. This
yes. No, I actually, I actually, rest and relaxation is big for me. I
yeah,
jog every day,
yeah.
but how we balance that is by creating forums and community, by having each stakeholder heard, and that is why partnerships are so big for NP Hub and for myself. In fact, we've built partnerships with DNPs of Color, NPWH, California Nurse Practitioner, CANP, California Nurse Practitioner
Mm,
Organization. We leverage these partnerships not only to learn from the
yeah.
thought leaders such as yourself, but from their membership.
Yes.
And from there, we're all able to
Mm,
build that community. We build forums, and also we read the reviews of our students. As
good.
I said, each student is able to review their preceptor outside of the university evaluation to make sure that we have that unbiased perspective on
Mm,
preceptorships, but
mm,
not just on their preceptor, but the difficulties they're having and their interest as well. So let me give you an example. So we're
mm,
working with one of my university partners right now, and we actually had a direct conversation with their student, and they're in their PMHNP program, and the student told their professor that they're actually interested in ketamine. So
mm,
by having that closed loop communication, we were
mm,
able to actually change their clinical placement maybe a week or 2 weeks
mm.
before and
Yeah.
place them with a ketamine clinic that was
Yeah.
maybe 30-minute drive away. So by
Wow.
having that direct feedback loop with our students and preceptors, we're able to produce the best ecosystem possible. Because in the
Wow.
end, we are not going to succeed because we believe in ourselves. We will succeed because we believe in each other.
Thank you so much. All right. So I know that mentorship is so important to you, and most people can say that there's somebody that they've looked up to, either they've admired them from a distance or who is mentoring them, who they're acquainted with. Is there anybody in your life that is memorable to you as either a mentor or, professor in the past?
I think one key mentor that I really admire and still in contact with was my LVN professor, Miss Suzanne Zimmer.
Wow.
I think that was my gateway into nursing. I think if she wasn't my first professor into nursing, my career would have been different because not
Mm,
only was she super strict, obviously, about aseptic technique and all of the fundamentals of nursing skills, but she actually lectured on the importance of evidence-based practice. So
mm,
for me, it was very transformative in that level of nursing to have a teacher who was also going to graduate school, who completed graduate school, and showed our class what was possible in nursing, wherein
mm.
you can be a bedside nurse, but you can also maximize your scale of impact by being an educator or a leader or a case manager. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm really thankful to have met Ms. Zimmer early in my career.
That's so sweet. As you talked about her, I remembered a professor who was she was so good to me. I mean, all my professors were great, but this particular one, I don't know what I did, but she just took a liking to me.
Mhm.
And everyone noticed it but me. I was like, everyone would be like, she just likes you. I don't know what it is. But she supported me so much. Even after school, she wrote all my recommendation letters. She would tell me how great I was doing. And even now, she still follows along with my journey. And that's really the importance of mentorship and pulling others along as you go on in your career, not forgetting to look behind, right? And try to get others that are behind you, encourage them, support them, speak life into them because they'll never forget it. Can you share any unique challenges that you faced as an immigrant in healthcare. How did you overcome them, and what advice would you give to an immigrant nurse or student who is trying to establish themselves in the profession as a first generation immigrant or any generation immigrant?
Yes. I think as a first generation immigrant, it's a reality that there are economic limitations to your journey. So for me, the way I was able to overcome that is by really finding a gateway into nursing. And for me, the LVN program was a great gateway into nursing because first, it's a 1 year program. And then you'll be able to, upon graduation, aside from the low cost, upon graduation, you're able to step into nursing and also work during while taking your prerequisite. So just being open to other pathways into nursing that can overcome the economic limitations of the immigrant experience. Second is finding your community. It's very important that to know that we will not succeed because we believe in ourselves. We will succeed because we believe in each other. And in my case, when during my LVN program in East LA Occupational Center, is that I had to take the bus like maybe an hour or two to my house or to my clinicals, and I'm not sure if you remember those nursing books like basic nursing
Oh
and
my goodness.
fundamentals of nursing. I had
And
to
that's where my
care.
background started.
Yes, I had to carry them, but that's why you're fit, right? So that's a blessing. But for me, I think my low back pain came from that experience. But the beauty of that is that by finding my community, my classmates from the Latinx community, my teacher, they all like gave me rides whenever they could, just to make sure that I'm successful and I'm well rested, have time to study. So finding your community, and even now that is so true. So that's why NP Hub has these partnerships with key organizations such as DNPs of Color, NPWH, CANP, and even the Philippine Nurses Association of America. So make sure to find your community. Third, you should have the self-awareness to recognize and acknowledge your weaknesses. So when I was a clinical nurse leader for the VA, my next job was I was initially a clinical project manager for the California Quality Improvement Organization for California, wherein I was just in charge of around maybe uh, eight, eight hospitals, eight hospitals with regard to their CMS quality metrics. However, after 3 years, I was promoted to become the executive director, wherein now I had the oversight of the quality metrics of around 314 hospitals.
Yeah.
I recognized that I was transitioning from an operational role to a strategic role. And by having that awareness, I decided to pursue my MBA from MIT. And that's where I learned all of the frameworks for business, strategy, economics, marketing. And thank God, I think after my tenure, we were able to save Medicare around $380 million. So,
Wow.
and my key takeaway from learning those frameworks was that a strategy without data is just poetry. And by knowing your numbers,
Yeah.
you will be able to leverage your team to become successful.
Yeah. Data is king and
Yes.
queen and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
MIT, Harvard, and California
Hmm.
State. You are a powerhouse, and you're so humble, uh, and so friendly and so sweet. I really enjoy talking to you. You do a lot for other people. What is it that fills your cup?
I think as a first generation immigrant, and I think you can attest to this, one of the things that made me really homesick was not having access to my mom's cooking. For
Oh
me,
no,
that
Philippines.
was very heart wrenching. And so whenever, especially in LA, it wasn't as difficult, but in Seattle, wherein there is not a large Filipino population, I really had difficulty finding Filipino food that was authentic. So, but thank God that whenever I feel stressed or or super hella tired, I would go to this restaurant called Musang. and the chef became a friend of mine, Chef Mel, who is a James Beard finalist. So I think just having that access to authentic food from your home is really big. And once I eat the adobo or the
Yeah.
sisig,
Yeah.
pancit, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm after a hard day, I'm ready to go for the next day. So I
Yeah.
think just finding eat like tasting that piece of home is very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, food connects you, back to something, back to
Yes.
those roots. I
Yes.
feel the same way about Nigerian food. My family sometimes will make fun of me that like I'll eat African food on my lunch break because it's notoriously sort of it has a unique smell right to it, and I will be like, I don't care. That's when I'm taking to work, and they're like, oh,
That's part of the happiness because it's a
yeah.
multi-sensory
Yeah,
experience.
you don't because you hardly ever get those foods. So whenever you do, you really do like savor them.
Yes.
But thank you so much for sharing that. One of my best friends is Filipino, so whenever you're needing a Filipino hookup, I got you.
Oh, please do, please do. Full transparency, I don't cook. I only eat. So donations are welcome.
No, honestly, we're the same.
Yeah.
I cook, but I don't enjoy cooking.
Yes.
But I enjoy eating for sure.
Yes.
All right, thank you. We are going to transition and talk about media portrayals of nursing. This has been such a fun conversation. I know I wish we could keep talking about kind of experiences and first generation immigrant experiences. But for the sake of time, let's talk about media portrayals of nurses. What are your thoughts? You have the experience of, the Filipino experience being that background, and now the experience in the United States. Can you share what you see are some key differences in the way nurses are portrayed or regarded in both of these countries, and then also in the media?
I feel that the United States is doing probably the best job among all the countries. We are leading in nursing because of the rigorous academic standards of this country.
Mhm.
That being said, I do feel that we can do a better job as nurses to advance the brand equity of nursing because I think there's still a lot of misinformation with nurses that I think we really need to ensure that we're able to communicate the value proposition of nursing. We are not merely practitioners of healthcare or bedside nurses. We are also nurse scientists,
Yep.
nurse educators,
Yeah.
leaders, case managers, and catalysts of change. So
Yeah.
I think we really need to band together to advance the brand equity of our profession as a whole. And I think that's a strategic imperative as we are advancing with these difficult problems in healthcare, such as an aging population, people are getting sicker, the national primary care shortage. I think nursing must play a key role to solving those challenges. And in order to solve that, we must advance the brand equity of our profession.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that so powerfully. So we don't just only want to talk about the issues, we want to talk about the solution. We're going to do it in a fun and lighthearted way by playing our game. So this is our final piece of our podcast today. Are you ready to play this game with me?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, Dr. De Vera. So with me is a jar. I will shake it around and pick out a category. And you have to come up with the plot of your own show. If you could write a show featuring a nurse character or a nurse in the lead, what would that show be like? You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's shake this around. Put on your thinking cap.
Okay, let's
I think you always,
imaginary.
I think you always have it on though. Oh, this is a comedy genre.
Yes. Okay. I think what I foresee is because when I went to Seattle, I think it was at the heat of the pandemic where Seattle was ground zero for COVID-19, and I think it was very difficult, and it was very difficult to adjust to short staffing, patients dying, and just the overall the overall burnout. So I think what I will do is maybe having a nurse that is finding humor in every day, whether it's you messed up an IV or just laughing at the break room. Maybe someone brought pancit wherein it fills out the smell of the break room. So by just having those small moments, because I think while our profession is very important to patient safety, I think it's also important for us to have a light-hearted approach and find
Absolutely.
those moments in order to fill our cup.
Yeah, 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 definitely. And I would watch that show 100%. I remember, oh my goodness, as you were talking about the break room, this is terrible, but
Yeah.
I remember when I was working on a unit, it was a rehab unit for children, children specialized, like a hospital. And I loved working there because I've always loved working with children. And I was working, I think it was the night shift or something. I mean, it was around the time when we went on our break, and somebody announced that there was pizza in the break room.
Oh, I'm there. I'm
Yeah,
there.
right, right? And I was like, okay, so I went and I got a slice of pizza.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh, okay, this is good. It was like, I don't know, I don't know if it was the last night, because initially I was like, oh, I'm okay. And then they were like, no, you should go get some, go. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll grab a slice. I took a slice and then, I was done and I left. And then one of the nurses went into the break room and was like, somebody just ate my food. I was like, wait. And then she said, did somebody eat the pizza that was in this thing in the corner or whatever? I was like, oh my gosh. I felt so terrible. I had eaten her lunch and I didn't realize. And I was like, this is
Honest mistake.
I know
Honest
this
mistake.
is so silly because I didn't even want the pizza to begin with. And so I was like, this is something that I never thought would happen to me, that I would eat somebody
I
else's.
think it was a setup. It was your
No,
friend
no,
who
no,
said, "Yeah, eat
it
it."
was right there. It wasn't like packed away in a
Yeah.
special. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was just, I just remember that. And it was so long ago, but sometimes I remember it and I think to myself, oh, how embarrassing. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I'll be calling NBC and tell them Dr. De Veyra has a show proposition.
Yes, yes, please. And you can be the lead actress.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I need to go brush up on my acting skills. Right
Yes.
now I have zero. I have like none. So don't depend on me for that. Okay. So where can people find you to connect with you, support your work?
Yes. Yeah. If I'm always on LinkedIn, just search me. Joseph De Veyra. I mean, my last name is a little bit hard, but I think it will probably be part of the post. And
Yeah.
regardless if you need mentorship or you're looking into clinical placements, if you're an academic leader or if you're a hospital or a healthcare organization leader hiring NPs, we also built the first ever NP specific job board. So would love to be of service. But anything, I'm so easygoing. If there's
Yeah,
anything
you
you need,
are.
whether it's you're interested in maybe applying to an MPH or DNP program, would love to be of service in any way I can. I
Yeah.
think it's a lot of mentors have helped me throughout my journey, and I want to pay it forward.
Yeah. Yeah. This has been such an insightful episode. Thank you for just sharing your journey, your passion, your mission. It's such a worthy mission, deserving of every accolade and every praise, because you're doing something that every NP student needs, right?
Mm.
Desperately. And so thank you for doing that job of matching nurses and matching nurse practitioners up with quality education. All right. So we are going to wrap up here. And guys, please be sure to like, please be sure to share, please be sure to subscribe. If you're enjoying my content, please give us a like, give us a thumbs up, all the good stuff, and follow along. Dr. De Veyra, if you could recommend anyone to be a guest on the show, who would it be?
Ooh, there's a lot. There's a lot. Give me one quick second. Let me think.
Not a
Let me
trick
think.
question.
Yeah, I do think I just met Dr. Cindy Weston, who is
Oh,
the dean of University of North Texas, wherein she just built and she just built the nursing school for that university. And as you know, Texas is has a large need because of the diverse population. So I think featuring her would be such a would really fill your cup, because she would also talk about where how she served a rural population as well early in her career, and social determinants of health. So I think Dr. Weston would be a great guest.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for that recommendation. I will be sure to reach out to Dr. Weston. Thank you all for tuning into today's episode. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep leading. Let's keep advocating. Together, we can change the narrative of nursing. Until next time. Bye bye. Thanks for hanging with me till the end. I hope you gained some valuable insight into the world of nursing. If today's episode inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear about the amazing work nurses are doing. Let's keep breaking stereotypes and reshaping the narrative together. I'll see you next time.